Something rather different, and we're very pleased to have it. It's a musical symposium conducted by Vladimir Horowitz. To introduce the program, our own Evans Mirages.
In October of 1977, pianist Vladimir Horowitz began celebrating his Golden Jubilee year of concertizing before the American public. He chose to open his 50th season with a concert at the University of Michigan. The splendid acoustics of Hill Auditorium and the capacity crowd combined to make the concert an historic event in the best sense of the word. The repertoire was varied, and Mr. Horowitz once again shared with his public a never-ending search for fresh idea in interpreting such classics as the Liszt B minor sonata. The concert over, Mr. Horowitz had a few days of leisure before his next appearance, and he decided to spend them in Ann Arbor. During that time, he held a symposium with students from the University of Michigan School of Music. The meeting took place in the school's recital hall. Mr. Horowitz sat alone on stage. Behind him, of course, a piano. With his wife and many young friends in the audience, Mr. Horowitz answered questions and offered his views on many topics. The atmosphere was relaxed, quite a contrast to the supercharged aura of many Horowitz recitals, and we were able to experience another facet of the pianist's personality, that of a witty and congenial intellectual. Since the audience was quite large, our microphones were unable to catch some of the questions clearly enough for you to hear, so from time to time we'll act as middlemen for the questioners. Here is pianist Vladimir Horowitz.
I have a very, very heavy accent. I hope that you will excuse me because, you know, I hope I can answer all the... Listen, you ask me some not too difficult questions, otherwise I will use the Fifth Amendment. So, now, let's go.
The first question directed towards Mr. Horowitz was as to his recitals, and would he play with an orchestra in the near future? Any orchestra?
You know, I didn't play with the orchestra for the last 25 years. And I'm playing in New York the 8th of January with the New York Philharmonic, with Ormandy conducting. And the all proceeds will go to the orchestra, benefits to the orchestra, because this New York Philharmonic was presented me in 1928, which you will all probably, you have been in the embryonic state on you. And so, they presented me, and so I give them back like a thanks, you see. So I will play, but it's true that when I came, I played Tchaikovsky concerto, but now I will play the Third Rachmaninoff, because I thought that Tchaikovsky too hackneyed and to play it too much, you know. And the Third Rachmaninoff was my very great friend and very close to me, you know. And I did play 3-4 weeks later Rachmaninoff there with Dammers, so it makes no difference very much. I came in January, I played in New York in 1928, about the 11th or 12th of January. This will be an 8th of January, so 3-4 days, you know. And then 4 weeks later, I played with the Dammers with another hall, which doesn't exist in New York anymore. And so that's why I choose to play the Third Rachmaninoff. So, your question is answered, I think.
Horowitz has long been identified with the music of Alexander Scriabin, and one of the students asked if Horowitz actually met Scriabin.
You see, I have a brother of my father was his pupil in Moscow Conservatory, and he finished conservatory with a silver medal. He was an accomplished pianist and musicologist and lecturer, and he was a friend of Scriabin. And when I was I was about 11, 12 years old. So my uncle asked Scriabin, when you will be in Kiev, that's the town where I have been born and I was staying, you know, when Scriabin came for a recital, my father asked Scriabin to hear me, because I was already showing talent, that I was 11 or 12. So I remember that's the only time I met him. It was in 1914, before the First War. So I met him in 1914. It was before his recital. I remember that he was just playing for the first time his 8th or 9th sonata, you know. It was a few hours before. He was like a crazy man sitting in the chair, very nervous. And he probably hated me. He said, you know, Mama and Papa were coming with the prodigy. And he was thinking, my God, to get rid of him. So that he sat very quietly, not quietly, no, not quietly, but he sat. I play very little things, I think. Some nocturne of Chopin, waltz of Chopin, something, a little one. 10 minutes. I met him. I talked with him. Very little. But then my father asked him about what he thinks about me as a talent and things like that, in the future, what to do, and so on, so on. And he said, your boy will be probably very good in pianist. I don't know how far he will go, but he has tremendous talent. But look that he got general education, that he is interested in all kinds of music. He has to know all music, that he reads a lot, that he sees paintings, that he knows the classic literature, not only play the scales, and to be artisan, but to be a real cultured person. I was a child, you know. So my father and mother followed, and they gave me a good education, but unfortunately later came a revolution, and that's all, and war, and that's all stopped. And you see, I went away from home. I was already, after I finished the conservatory and gymnasium and college and things, and I went already to Moscow, Leningrad to play concerts. I was only 18, 17, 19, you know. I tried my best, and I did quite well. And just I left. They gave me permission to leave the country to go to study in abroad. I went to Germany. I was there many years, but I didn't study there. I just was listening, all others, living 4 or 5 months. I had a very big success in Leningrad. And this is true. I gave 22 recitals in one season with 11 different programs. And the other was the repeat, without orchestra. Half of the, 3/4 of the thing I don't play now. I don't remember even. But I play things, you know, I play like a recital of old Mettner. You don't know even that this composer exists. But I play all program of old Mettner compositions. For instance, I play all program of only Bach Busoni. Things like that. I remember that. But anyhow, I made enough money to put money in my shoes, because it was not allowed to take money with. And with that money, I start my career in Germany. And there I am, sitting near you. That's how I started. So that's how why I'm talking. I started a little bit from Scriabin, because he gave me, and he did even told my father and mother that he recommend some very good teacher. They all came from Leningrad, because you see, the communist revolution started in the north much before the south. The south, it was 3 years later. So the revolution started in 1917, but we had the communist regime from 20. So we have the best forces from the north who came to the south. And so I had my teacher, Felix Blumenfeld, who was the right hand of Anton Rubinstein. You see, and he knew, he played 4 hands with him, they were together, and so I got lots of from him, you know, too. So that's what it is. I hope I answered even too much, because you asked me only about Scriabin, and I went too far. I was so talkative today.